morning. I read today's Just for Today, and it was about healing over time, strengthening over time, and how people can come into Narcotics Anonymous and wonder why they're not where they need to be, or how come I'm not further along in life. I struggle with that, especially, while I was getting loaded because of my age. I used and got to a point where I was like, well, I'm still young. And then I got to a point where I used thinking it's too late. I'm too old. Because in my active addiction, there was always an excuse. And now, it's a trust in my higher power process. Some of the things, and it talks about that in the Just for Today, about strengthening my relationship with my higher power. There are situations in my life, and there will be situations in my life, and there have been situations in my life where I have felt, whether I didn't like the information I was given, whether I didn't like something about where I'm at in life, all of that. And the relation, when I strengthen the relationship with my higher power, what that means to me is that I can't control what other people say, do. I can't control people, places, and things. I can do my best, and sometimes my best may not be good enough for others. But as long as it's good enough for me, then I don't have to worry too much about what other people are going to think or how other people are going to feel. People will say things that are hurtful. And at that moment, I either choose to take it as information that I want to hurt me, to help me, or to give it, or turn it over to my higher power. People say things when they're in a hurt state, when they're in a happy state, when they're sad, or joyful for that matter. And if I choose to take everything somebody says and take ownership over it, well, that's never worked out too well for me. So I just have to keep doing my best. Some days are good. Sometimes every other day might not be. But I don't have to worry too much about if I'm in a place where somebody feels I need to be. Worrying about where I should be because information I'm given by others. Well, if I start worrying that I'm not where I should be because somebody else thinks I should be at a certain place, all that's going to do is drive me in the wrong direction. And I have to learn to trust in my higher power all the time. As long as I'm doing the things that I need to be doing based on the suggestions given to me by people who are, they've got some time under their belt and they're in recovery. Because I'm fresh in recovery. And also trusting, what's been working for me so far. I didn't get to this point in my recovery by doing the wrong things. So far. When I feel uncomfortable, I make a meeting. If I feel super uncomfortable, I make another. Some days I'll make 3. Other days, I may not make a meeting. I have to trust that that's been working for me. And find a balance in it too. I've worried about what other people think most of my life. And I'm working on not worrying about that. There's a book I read called The 4 Agreements. And there's a section in the book. One of the agreements is to not take anything personally. And what he says in the book is, if you can get to a state of where somebody has a gun to your head and they pull the trigger right before the bullet hits your head, not to take that personally. Not that that's going to happen, but to be at that state of that's their stuff, then I'm at a peaceful state within myself. If I can get there, then maybe I won't assume as much. Because I'll assume things and then I'll make up this story in my head and take it personally. And I've been doing it for so long that it's become the norm. When I don't do it, I'm going against the grain of my normalcy. And my normalcy was, when I take statistically, percentage-wise, how long I've used versus how long I haven't used, well, I'd say I'm at 85% using, maybe even more. In fact, it's probably more than that if I consider using pot and alcohol. So I really have to understand that this is a process of self-development. It's a process of character building. It's a process of becoming something that I'm not. But what I was, I didn't like. I didn't like it enough to, like, where I used. Using was a mask. And I used because of the masks. So my life was one big mask. I'll help if I can. I did a video recently that said I'm here to help. And I am here to help. And I'll help as best as I can. And my help may not be the right help, but I'll try. The whole point of being of service for others is trying, and you may not do it right, but as long as you give it your best effort, you're at least doing something. And that's better than doing nothing. And so this morning, although I got to sit in my, sit within myself and reflect, what I didn't do is beat on myself. That's very important. I also spend a high percentage of my life beating on myself because of what other people say. And if I truly want to be that person that goes around in society and in life where I'm confident, where I know myself, and where I can be of service, I need to go through ups and downs clean and do my best to not take what anybody says personally, and to share as much as I can, my recovery, go to as many meetings as I can while I'm early in this. You know, once I get to the point of where my sponsor is at, maybe I can make as many meetings as he makes. And he's got 26 years. And what he told me was that early in his recovery, he made a lot of them. And it was really hard for him to make all of those, but he did. And he's got 26 years, so I'm lucky to have him. And tomorrow, I'm on another journey, another adventure. I'm excited about it. I need it. It might rain. I'm okay with that too. Well, I hope whoever's watching this has a good day. And if you're not having a good day, I hope your day gets a little better. That's all I got. Have a good one.